say, have a little bang.
Have a little bang.
And have a little bang.
Have a little bang.
Have yourself a... You've been struck by a car.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Watch Horror podcast. This is episode 11.5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes it is. And we are talking about the film Stalk that came out in 2018. It's a midday podcast today, so we've got a very interesting lineup of drinks. I've got a coffee. Manny, of course, has a beer.
Standard.
And
It's
Ruby's
a Sunday.
Yeah, give me a bit of credit, mate.
and Ruby has got a glass of water.
Yeah. Health me up.
We're all in this one today as well, so that's nice. We're all together again.
Even though our beverages suggest we're on completely different levels.
Yeah.
Maybe it will help for the perspectives, you know what I mean? We're coming at this from slightly different levels of either intoxication or stimulation or hydration.
Nice, I like that. That
Yeah.
was good. You encompassed all of the drinks in there.
Mate,
Beautiful.
I'm off the top of the head as well.
So, how did you guys feel when I told you that this film Stalk is the next film from the people that did Soundbite?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was pretty psyched because the soundbite was excellent, so that I definitely went in with a bit of an expectation because I definitely enjoyed Soundbite. You know what I mean? That one was definitely like it had a really good production value, and it it was very memorable. So yeah, definitely raised the stakes.
When Michael Kalum, the director of this film, got in touch with me again and said this is the next one, I was so excited because a lot of people, and ourselves included, had been wondering what are they going to do next.
Yeah.
You know, what's the next thing to come out of? It's Horror House Media is the production company that made this, and they put a lot of their stuff on YouTube. And it's another 5-minute long short, and I feel like it's a perfect way to follow up from Soundbite.
I agree. I
Yeah,
really
like you
agree.
say, it raises the stakes in terms of what we expect from it, but it's just kind of nice because, you know, when doing the 0.5s, there is always a slight concern, not concern, but just we have to be aware that, you know, you don't know what you're going to get.
No.
When we do sort of big, you know, not necessarily blockbuster films, but big, what do you call it? The opposite of independent.
Yeah, like studio movies.
Yeah.
On our
Yeah.
usual Thursday episodes,
Yeah, we normally have a pretty good idea. Even if we haven't watched it before, you normally have a pretty good idea of what to expect, just because it will have a reputation. We would have heard about it through the grapevine in some way or another, so you kind of know what you're getting into. Whereas with the 0.5s, we just don't know.
No.
You know, all we know is that it's independent and usually a short. So yeah, it's kind of cool that we know it's Michael Kalum and his team. They did Soundbite, which was sick, so there's a really good chance that it's going to be good too.
Yeah, it was so directed by Michael Kalum and written by Brantley J. Brown, who also did Soundbite, of course.
Cool, yeah.
Yep.
This one's going to be really tough because Michael's asked us. You will be able to watch this, and hopefully you guys, some of you listen to it the day before this, because I would be posting the film on our Twitter the day before we record. No, not the day before we record.
Yeah.
I get so confused. Our recording schedule is crazy. But the day before this comes out, I would have posted on YouTube the film.
Yeah.
So hopefully a lot of you guys have seen it. But for those of you that haven't, we are not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
So-
So we're gonna keep certain things under wraps so that you can experience certain elements as they're meant to be. Without it being coloured by us chatting about it.
Exactly, and it's a 5-minute long film, which means that if we can't tell you the ending, there's gonna be we're gonna it's
quite
such a big
limited.
part of
Yeah,
the
a little
film,
bit.
Yeah.
and the ending is fucking great as well. I love the ending of this film.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's we can't.
You tempted to let it out.
No. I'll shut up.
It's so amazing when this happened. Do you want a little bit of trivia about the day, about what happened
Yeah,
when they were
definitely.
shooting? So,
Of course.
when they actually got there to shoot this film, they had all their shots planned and everything like that. And apparently, you know the POV shot that you get at the very start?
Yes.
That was decided on the day.
Oh, cool.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which meant they got to, they had a lot of fun with their shots and kind of stuff like that. And they, so the start is in POV. That was decided on the day, and the rest of it they'd planned out and everything like that. So I particularly love this bit where obviously you get the idea of what's going to happen in this film. It's called Stalk, so we're going to be there's going to be someone stalking someone in this one, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's a bit where the stalker is kind of watching this lady as she's walking home from a party, I assume.
Yeah.
And they're like looking like partially the shot is obscured by a telephone pole. And you see her walking away, and then we move across the telephone pole, and we get her again coming towards at a completely different point of her journey, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. It really felt like it's like a media student's like wet dream. That kind of like that shot, like
nice transition.
Like when me and Manny did media together. Like if we could have come up with this shot, we would have fucking.
Yeah, no, we would have been top of the bloody class, mate. We would have shown them, and then no, it was. I know what you mean. The camera work in this film was it was simple, but it was definitely effective. Like the whole thing to me was like a very deliberate kind of a callback to like classic slasher movies.
Definitely,
like for sure. Like the big one that it made me think of Halloween. It's like really evocative, particularly of the first one. Like you get like the sort of the way the camera like follows the woman being stalked, and like there's that great little shot where he kind of sidesteps out into view, which is like that is a proper homage, isn't it? Like to that like classic bit with Mike Myers standing.
The Mike Myers stance.
No, it's of course it's like a very deliberate throwback to all of that, but it goes places. It does go places. Yeah,
it's so hard because when you said it goes places, I was just about to be like, oh, I know the place it goes, and I can't tell any. I mean, you guys that have watched it, you know what we're talking about. But a bit I want to talk about is I don't know if it was meant or if it just happened or if they did think of it. But when we see the stalker step out from the bushes and he does that little like extra step. It opened up like this whole thing that we were discussing, like, can this guy walk properly, or is like why did he, and he walks with quite like open legs, and it's just like
it's a very strange gait.
Yeah, and it just added that little bit of like something to it that was like such a small thing to do of just like instead of taking one big step out of the bushes, take a step and then like an awkward other step.
Well, yeah, like it made him feel unstable. Yeah, you know what I mean. You don't know what this guy is like even about to do, which of course with any kind of a slasher antagonist, that to me is like the most important part. Like as soon as you feel like you know what's about to like happen, where this person's going to take things, it always kind of kills a bit. He definitely has that kind of unpredictability, like what even is this dude kind of a thing.
I wanted to give him a little backstory for myself,
as you are so likely to do with just about anything, mate.
Do you want me to try on this one?
I mean, go on then.
Okay.
What do you reckon he's been up to?
Well, this guy, we're going to call him Johnson.
Okay.
And he was really good at running track. For years, he's been great at running track, and he was going to be the dude who did it all, and he falls and he hurts himself.
Alright.
Okay.
So that's the reason he's got his little stagger.
Yeah, he's got his little stagger. Okay. And obviously, he couldn't run track anymore, so all the track kids bullied him and, called him Slow Man Johnson, which broke his heart, and he had to, like, find other friends. And the only people that would accept him were the metalheads, because, us three are metalheads. We are, we're a friendly bunch, I guess.
Most times.
Yeah. Well, for the purposes of the backstory, we're a friendly bunch.
Yeah.
And so he hangs out with them, has a lovely time, and gets to know them, and listens to a band called Slipknot.
Yeah.
And eventually he realises he can't run very far anymore, but he's great at crafting masks.
Yeah, he's a proper fan. He'd be like, because that what he's got on it definitely gave, I think, all of us a bit of a Jim Root vibe.
Yeah.
Like the guitarist, it had that like the same kind of the eye thing going on. It definitely was reminiscent, which I don't know if that was deliberate. Maybe not. You know what I mean? You never know. But
maybe Michael or Jay Brantley is a big fan of Slipknot. I don't know.
Well, it's very Leatherface, isn't it? And obviously, Slipknot's masks are quite often
it's proper inspired by like horror imagery. So but it definitely, like, even if that wasn't deliberate, it definitely had he looked like a classic slasher villain.
Yeah.
Right, like he had that look about him, and he's obviously clutching that great big Like you know, what kind of a knife was that?
I just think it's a standard kitchen knife.
Yeah, I think it is like
Yeah.
a
Big ass
kitchen knife.
knife.
You know what I mean? Which, like, you know, again, it's all very deliberate. I think, like, it's like deliberately meant to be like calling back to all of like the 70s and 80s slasher flicks. But
I really like that sort of homemade feel about the mask as well.
Yes,
like that
definitely.
always creeps me out 10 times more because, like, as much as I friggin' love the Slipknot masks, they're clearly like fucking cost thousands to make, and they're just perfect and just well designed.
Yeah,
and
these
structured.
days,
Yeah, not so much back in the day, but now they clearly put a lot of money into those things. And with this, it's like the eye holes are just a bit too big, so you can sort of see like the flesh around his eyes, but they're wonky. And like I just love that because it really looks like someone's manically made it in their basement. Do you know what I mean? I just adds a proper creepiness to it.
My Johnson would take great offence to that because he spent a lot of time on his masks. And just to finish off my story is that, you know, he's heard all the people have been like, oh, listening to Slipknot makes you go crazy and kill people, and like that really got to him, and eventually he cracks. And the woman, I'm going to give her my own backstory as well. You can't actually give the ending away. That, you know, she was an advocate for that. You know, this, you know, let's stop for Slipknot, listening to Slipknot makes people go crazy and kill people.
She was like somebody who was protesting against them outside gigs and stuff.
Yeah. So in a kind of, you know, my limited understanding of irony, he actually does eventually go crazy and try and kill the person.
They were right all along, weren't they?
Yeah, and she is right, but she also, you know, is potentially going to get murdered from this crazy Slipknot fan.
So she's like proper satanic panic kind of.
Yeah, if you're buying into my backstory, then yes.
Right,
yeah.
Late 70s sort of. Okay.
Or buying into the like Slipknot is bad, Marilyn Manson is bad, that whole era, like Marilyn Manson like caused Columbine. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure that's the direction. I'm not quite sure that's the direction you were going in, Michael. But you know, if you ever needed someone to write backstories for your villains, then I am available.
And highly sought after, clearly.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I've done 2 so far. Obviously, we had Jared from the last episode.
But yeah, speaking of the mask, like the way that the film kind of opens up with the logo behind, like as though it's like a first person shot looking through the eye holes, which was like, you know, simple little effect. But I like POV like in horror when it's done properly. I mean, like you know, obviously you had Maniac like a few years ago with oh man, what's the name of Frodo, man? Elijah Wood played a thing. Like, obviously, that whole thing was in like POV, and like, you know, having that opening shot, like it being decided on the day, like that does sort of strike me as like a nice little intuitive kind of a thing of, okay, we're going to put you directly in this guy's shoes, you know, which gives it a whole different kind of a direction than if we were just following her from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if we were just following her from the very beginning and it was more of a mystery as to what this guy was, whereas we're immediately put in his shoes, which kind of, it always gives it a bit of a kind of a different kind of a vicarious kind of a, like what like you're
almost
watching.
whose side you're on.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of figuring out what like well yeah no it was definitely interesting. This is a hard one to talk about because of where it goes, but you definitely do need to, if you're listening, check this out because it is only 5 minutes. And
I kind of almost when it cut away from POV, because it does after a couple of minutes. It goes to sort of standard third person perspective, but like I kind of regretted that. I really liked that POV shot. But at the same time, I know why they did, and also it kind of would have turned into a more found footage style film.
I know what you mean.
Because POV and found footage, there's a weird crossover there where is there really much difference?
It is that kind of like vicariousness, isn't it? It's like you're watching something. It makes it feel a bit more like involving and real, like both of those things. But again, it is something that can be overused.
And it comes with its own problems. So you know, the mixing up of it was great because you sort of get different perspectives, which is always good.
And it's really good to do that within the time limit as well. I think that's really good. Like that's the thing about this film. It's another one, like the 5 minutes. It's so short.
Yeah,
like we realised the other day, like when we were recording, like we were having a chat just to start the episode, and I looked at the recording thing and was like, shit, we've done 23 minutes and we barely entered into the talks about the film we're doing.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes is nothing. And to create something out of it that kind of builds suspense, has an ending, it does have a start, you know, to this, like with this coming, I think I think the graphic of seeing Stalk through the eyes of the mask is like you said, it's a great start because you're already given that like vicarious feel of and you're watching the film through the eye. It's really clever. And the thing about it being 5 minutes is you can watch it a few times to get all this. We watched it twice. I was going to say we want to do a third one because Manny did start to do a little narration of it in his Cockney-sounding voice.
Yeah, because there's not much dialogue in this.
No.
No, again, the whole thing, like, it seems to be a recurring theme with a few of, like, the 0.5s we've done. It's very minimal, which I think is always really impressive, to be able to build tension out of, like, within such a short time constraint. You know what I mean?
It takes a lot of skill.
It's not easy, man. It's definitely not easy. And it certainly, like, grabs your attention, does its thing. And but doesn't outstay its welcome. You know what I mean? It's on point.
Shall we take a look at the poster?
Yes.
I'm going to pass it around to you guys. You can have a little look. Tell us your instant thoughts.
I mean that font again. It's just
love the font.
Like full on 70s, 80s / a throwback. It's like you've got a nice dark hollow setup. Oh no, it's not. It is like the eye holes, but it's like it's very obscured. It takes a little bit of looking at before you can kind of look it up and you, like figure out what it says. And it says, from the creative minds behind Soundbite. Be careful what you pray for. Pray being in like the bright red lettering, and it's spelled Prey.
Oh man! I just made a connection that I can't say. Damn it!
What?
I can't say. But it's pray.
Okay. Yeah. No, you'll like have a look at that after you've seen it if you haven't already, and just you'll see what we're on about. Yeah, what do you reckon of that then, Ruby?
Yeah, it is that really faint sort of, you've just got the tip of the nose and the sides of the eyes that you can see in the blackness, and it just makes me think of, when you think you see something in the dark, whether that be walking home late at night and when someone's quite far away. Do you ever get it when someone's far away and you can't tell if they're walking towards you or away from you?
I get that all the fucking time.
And you have to really stare and sort of try and work out whether they're getting closer or further away, and it's quite freaky, and you sort of can kind of see a face but not quite because it's just a little bit too far. All that kind of thing. And when you wake up in the middle of the night and think you see something staring back at you, that's kind of what it looks like. You get those sort of faint details.
Yeah, that's a good connection actually. Yeah, for sure. It's creepy.
It's quite a classic looking poster as well.
Yeah, again, I think that is entirely what is being gone for with that font. Just makes me think of like every single I think if I'm not mistaken, it's the original Amityville Horror. Is it
similar?
Yeah. They've used that for loads.
These guys do know what they're doing. Yes. They do know how, and they do know how to get you talking about it as well. I mean, another thing that we kind of had a little talk about as the film was going on. Our main actor in this, Cara Schaff, who plays the prey, we could say. She says that kind of typical, is anybody there?
Yeah.
That felt like, I know it's something that's, people... I've never personally heard anyone say that or said that myself. But, it's that kind of, it happens in, all of these situations in horror films. I feel like that's like another little same with the thing with the Halloween kind of sidestepping thing.
It's a total trope, and they have used it, I think, very, very deliberately. Looking back after having watched the whole thing, I think that is properly placed in there specifically because it is such a cliched line, which you've heard so many times. But it's making sure that you're within that lineage of horror movies. You're kind of thinking along those lines when you're watching it. You're kind of, you know what I mean. It is another reason it's a throwback for sure.
Yeah, I also got something here that Michael said to me through the email. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. He said, so Stalk is our piece that we're using to showcase the power of the Me Too movement.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. That does recontextualise it quite a fair bit, actually.
Annoyingly, it does mean that we can't talk too much about
it. But again, it's another thing. You'll know what they mean.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it's time we do our words for this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is all three of us are here, so I don't have to make up one this time. I don't even know what it would be.
Yeah, don't have me putting words in anyone's mouth.
Yeah.
Especially not spangled.
Oh, Christ.
Well, what did I do for you, Manny?
Oh, dear.
I did it. It would come out, I think... I actually don't know.
Right.
Probably better.
It's probably for the best, otherwise I'll start getting angry.
Yeah. How dare you put words in my mouth? I would never say that word.
Slander.
I am a man of my word.
My word is going to be classic, because I think from the poster to the way it's kind of like the feel of it, it just feels like, yeah, like classic. It's just, it kind of is a throwback, and it obviously honours the classics, and it it has that really good feel about it. And obviously my word, I'm using my word because I don't want to go into what happens, so it's a safe word. My safe word is classic. Yeah, it's going to be quite hard to say at points, I guess. But.
My word is going to be subversive. And again, I can't go into the exact reason why that's my word, but yeah, watch it. You'll see again. You will see exactly what I mean. But yeah, it's subversive. I'll just leave it at that.
I mean, in a way, that is the biggest compliment, because you're just saying you have to watch it. So yeah. I mean, mine's kind of very similar to yours in a lot of ways. The best I can come up with is unexpected.
Yeah.
Rob's right. There is a lot of classic elements in this, which are great, and a really good callback to some films that we all love so much, but it doesn't necessarily carry on that way. And there are some more unexpected parts, like, and I mean, as well as just like the ending, there's a bit where she gets to like a gate, and I assume it's like some kind of like gated apartment or gated community kind of thing. And normally, like, when you get to the gate of your house, you feel safe, don't you? Because it's like that Threshold, thank you. What would I do without you guys? She gets to that threshold, so, you feel like, oh, maybe she's safe. Like, she's made it past the gate. He can't possibly... Oh!
There he is.
So, yeah, there's some really cool bits in it like that are just unexpected in a very good way.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, just a quick bit of trivia. Brantley J. Brown is in this movie. Now, I'm not going to tell you where... But if anyone knows what he looks like or anything, he is in this. He has a tiny little cameo.
Oh, right.
Which is pretty cool.
Is it the girl in the missing poster?
Yes. So that was our little review of a little short film, Stalk.
Yeah.
Which is the next film after Soundbite from the guys who made that. So thank you, Michael, for getting in touch, and thank you to Horror House Media for making this also a little short.
Yeah, cheers.
I just want to have a brief talk about something that's happening at the moment, which is affecting people that are making the 0.5 to us, and that is what's happening with Amazon Prime, which fucking sucks. Do you know what's happening, Manny?
No, I haven't heard about this.
They are basically just cutting and taking down loads of the films that are on Prime at the
Really?
moment. So, like, a couple of people that we've know of, or films that they've done, they've just been taken down.
Really?
And there's not really any explanation. It's like kind of weird stuff. Like, it doesn't follow what their like guidelines or stuff like that. But basically, it just feels like they're just ripping down stuff that they don't like.
Like what? On grounds of being offensive? Or what?
No, not on grounds of being offensive. Just they just don't. I don't know. They're just taking stuff down.
Is it low views or something? Maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't know too much about it, but I just know that it's affecting a lot of the people that are going to be making 0.5 or short horror, indie horror films.
Things like that like fucking suck for independent filmmakers if they're just taking down, like, especially if they are like smaller movies willy nilly with no explanation too. Yeah, sort your fucking shit out, Amazon.
Well, it's just like I always sung the praises of Amazon Prime, and it's why we pay for it, because you can see so many indie horror films.
Precisely.
It's such a great way of getting your film out there.
Yeah.
I don't know the guidelines, but it felt like they were quite accepting of films, especially indie horror. There's so much on Prime.
Yeah, that's where we watched Hell House, LLC.
Yeah, Bad Ben.
The amazingness that was Bad Ben. I don't know what my life would be without that. But no, seriously, watching that stuff is great. And one of the main reasons we pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, surely that they must understand that that's one of the advantages of their platform above like a Netflix. So there's the fact that you are like a smaller filmmaker would be able to upload their stuff onto there. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Is there a fair bit of like outrage or?
Definitely.
Yeah, of course there is. I should bloody well hope so. I hope we at least get an explanation, and hopefully they just stop fucking doing it, because we like independent films on this podcast, and any platform in which they are able to get up on there needs to remain that way. So yeah, hashtag get your shit together, Amazon.
And hashtag support indie horror, and fucking put the shit back up and just fucking
Well, a lot of the time, the only thing that you can really do with this is cancel your subscription and tell them exactly why. So
Yes,
we're cancelling
yeah,
our
that's
subscription
a good point. If this carries on, I think we might have to full suit, which would suck in of itself. But yeah, fuck that. I'm not down with that at all.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, after that, a little negative side note. Thanks again to everyone who made this film, and I'm really excited for your next one. I'm sure you'll be doing one, and get in touch with us again.
It's on YouTube as well. So.
Yeah, so you guys are safe on the knowledge that it's YouTube, and all of our listeners can go watch this right now. And if you haven't already, I really suggest you do because you're going to enjoy it. And if you haven't seen Soundbite, check that one out as well.
Yeah.
We will post about it on our Twitter, which is @WatchHorrorPod, all one word. On Instagram, we are
Let's Watch Horror.
Yes.
We're still getting this down after this many weeks.
I'm going to tattoo it on myself.
I think you're going to need to.
It throws me because of the whole yours has the pod at the end of it, and it's just too much, Rob. How can I possibly?
I think there's only one thing different. We still haven't managed to get Let's Watch Horror Pod on Twitter because the person's holding it ransom.
Yeah, it is Let's Watch Horror Pod on Instagram.
And that's the same for Facebook.
Yes.
And our Gmail, if you want to get your own 0.5... I keep calling them 0.5 productions as people saying, I'm going to make a 0.5 production one day. And it's like, I don't want people to feel like I'm bragging that much, but it helps me understand what shows we're doing. On Mondays it's a 0.5s. But
helping to understand and communicate our brand.
Exactly, yeah. Hashtag as well. That's why I do the hashtag in front of it, you see. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you want your own short film to be reviewed or just to get in touch with us, it's letswatchhorror@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And once again, as always, thank you, Tommy Musgrove, for our amazing artwork. That's it from us. Goodbye.
Love you.
In a bit.